All right, so I will let it be known that there's a great awakening that is happening right now around the world. And some of you out there may be looking into some, or you may be observing some new information that's coming out. Hold on, y'all. Some of you out there could be going through an awakening, noticing how things are changing, or there's some new information that's coming out. I made a huge community post on the community post section on my YouTube channel that talked about that. It's time for people to wake up, to learn who they really are, to learn that when it comes to their rights, there's a reason why you may be waking up and learning your rights, and things are coming out about some legal situations or legal information. What you think the United States means, U.S. means? That means us, right? What you think states represent? There's an S on the end for a purpose, a reason. That means it's plural, it's not singular, it's plural. We're not just one state, bro. We are the states. That's what us means, United States. So you know what that means? That right there is an automatic federal jurisdiction. That's in federal jurisdiction. Because what you think the U.S. Supreme Court ruling means of U.S. rulings? Then you have USC, the sections, the titles and sections. What you think that means? It's advisable people to go do their research and to not consent or contract with any of these individuals. That may be on a local level. I don't really know much about the state level, but especially the local level, it's advisable you don't contract with these individuals. Because there's U.S. Supreme rulings that bind certain practices of what they're doing, the majority of practices that they're doing. The U.S. Supreme rulings rules over that and sustains the judgment against them, which are representing their certain titles, sections, and codes that fall directly in alignment when it comes to these U.S. Supreme rulings. That also is a double confirmation and backup to protect you on a federal level. Because a lot of you don't realize that the things that has been being done to you are federal violations. That definitely are in violation of the Title 18 and the section of the 241 and the 242. 241 is conspiracy against rights. 242 is deprivation of rights. You have also been a victim of the 18 U.S. Code 1962. That's RICO. I advise y'all to do y'all research when it comes to that. All these individuals have been doing basically is revenuing off of fraudulent practices in order to violate your federal protected rights by crossing over into federal jurisdictional law or federal jurisdiction to do it. Because just like I said before, it's identified as us for a reason, not just United States. It's both ways. Us in meaning all persons, and us in meaning United States. So therefore, you combine the U.S. Supreme rulings and the USCs all connected together. That means United States, right? This is federal jurisdiction. The state that I'm in is federal jurisdiction. That means all states that are connected all together. It's all over. The state that you're in is considered federal jurisdiction because it's the U.S. There's absolutely no purpose for fucking locals one bit, bro. And the shit that has been being done, like these FBI agents raiding these local institutions due to police brutality, excessive force, now you know why. because they're a satanic cult. They ain't nothing but revenuers that generate currency off of fraudulent practices that you eventually have to shut down, right? Makes sense now, don't it? I want every FBI agent out there right this minute to take a look at their federal badge right now and to look at the symbolism of what they really represent, what it represents, and to do their research on Archangel Michael. Because that's the archangel that defends us in battle against the wickedness snares of the devil, which are representing the Baphomet. And the Baphomet is a secret society symbolism that is meant to harm people due to its ritualistic practices and ceremonies that are had in order to sacrifice people. Majority of the law on a local level are involved in these secret society rituals that have been committing treason, breach of trust, violating breach of trust, and committing treason numerous amount of times. It's time people wake up. There may be some agents that may not be familiar with their federal badges, spiritually what it really represents, but it represents them to take the stand as Archangel Michael to defend us from these corrupt institutions that are revenuing this fraudulent currency off of these practices. If you have ever had a phone call come in the FBI from an earth angel, a spiritual healer, a spiritualist, it was for a damn good reason. It's because in reality, they're there to help you on a spiritual level fight these crimes and get these corrupt, no good pieces of trash out these institutions and take our land back. To remind you of who you really are, that you have power over these individuals and you the real legitimate law. You're the only law that makes sense, that has, how can I say this? You're the only law that resonates and makes sense when it comes to people's protection. What can a state do to defend you and protect you of something? They only have these bullshit things of, oh, disturbing the peace and all of this and all of that. I haven't really been doing my research when it comes to a lot of things on the state level, but when it comes to federal jurisdiction, see, I'm not even concerned about the state's level because of how I just identified it through the U.S. It means the United States. Of course, it may be a state, but it's still located in the United States. That means all combined into one. That's the country. It's advisable that people wake up and realize that you have way more power than you could even imagine or dream of. You have the power to cooperate with federal agents and to get them to take these institutions down under the U.S. Supreme rulings due to these fraudulent practices that are being committed upon you to violate your federal protected rights. Because under the U.S. Supreme rulings, they have to follow and abide by that. It's a sustained ruling. They don't have to have a signed off warrant from a federal judge that's already signed within the U.S. Supreme rulings. Therefore, it gives them a legitimate probable cause to conduct a raid of a search. They may not be aware of that, but this could be some new information to them. I mean, I know they have things. I know they have ways of doing things, but still, though, you want probable cause, you got it right there in the U.S. Supreme rulings that these locals have been violated numerous amount of times. And you can indeed stop it. You can stop further harm from being committed under, once again, the U.S. Supreme rulings. I know they have their ways at doing things, but when it comes to this information, I'm intuitively channeling that. And it makes sense too. If they need legitimate probable cause, they could go based off the U.S. Supreme rulings. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to be back. I got to go in the store to get me something to eat. thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Way better than the locals, man. Trust me. Way better than them.
Have you cutting up over here? What?
Oh yeah, violating all kind of laws on federal titles and sections. I gotta get all of them all the time on my YouTube channel because of that, you know.
It's everywhere, man.
But hey, I appreciate your service. Have a good one, man. How you doing? Hey y'all, I'm back. They just had some state troopers in the store, and I thank them for their service because they way different than the locals. He said, yeah, they got that all around right now that's going on when it comes to the situations. Bro, to the ones that respect, like it's just some of the, it's a lot of problems are being done within the locals. I don't really look like that. The state ain't ever bothered me like that when it comes to that. When they see me on the road, they don't bother me or none of that. It's just the locals. But yeah, they had two of them in there. I said, man, thank y'all for y'all service. Y'all ain't doing all that bullshit like the locals are doing. He kind of laughed too. He's like, yeah, they're true. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, when somebody not bothering me and they're sitting there protecting people like they should be, and I don't feel threatened, then that right there is enough for me to respect them as I say, thank you for your service because you're actually protecting people. You're not sitting there harming people. It may not be all of them, but I mean, as far as my experience on the state level, no, I haven't been bothered by the troopers. It's just the locals. They like to do that stupid shit. But yeah, they had two troopers in there. I thanked them for their service. They said they appreciate it. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying, if you really do your research, the U.S. means us, United States. There's still more information I need to investigate and uncover when it comes to that. It's just the main problem. Hold on, y'all. This window's down. The main problem in these times, just what I've been saying, is the fucking locals. And yes, there has been some incidents where the troopers has had to get on some of these local institutions because they're not doing their job the right way. One of them got caught stealing all kind of money. I want to say it was a lot of money. I seen that, did my research. I'm not just going to sit there and go by what's on the media, because sometimes that could be misinformation. But I went and did my research, and sure enough, the state where I'm at found this individual guilty of still a numerous amount of money out of another institution. That's the way the law should be, brother. Like, they're committing crimes. The crime rate should be at an incredibly low level, because people should be safe. It shouldn't be about a paycheck. I mean, these officers ought to realize on the state level, like they could do something, a separate job than that. They could get a YouTube job or sit there and get a Facebook job. So they could be revenuing double. They could have double on their revenue. That's double the income. They have their state job, and then you have social media jobs. So you can revenue both ways. You could get paid both ways. My main purpose in this lifetime was to inspire the law to become themselves, and to wake up to see that these local institutions, bro, the majority of them, serve absolutely no purpose in defending or upholding the U.S. Constitution, our civil rights, or our amendments, because they're not doing their job the right way, like they're supposed to. Like I said before, revenuers. All they're interested in is scamming people and committing extortion to extort the individual out of U.S. currency. As far as my situation goes, that's exactly how it's been done on my behalf over here, on a local level. When I talk about the state level, we're talking about the local level. And I had plenty much experience every time I travel on the interstate. I get on the highway and I go out the city limit jurisdiction. State police don't bother me. They do not bother me whatsoever. And you would think that, oh, well, they would bother you, but they don't. It's just two local institutions that I've had the majority of issues with, and they try to get other departments to join in with that. And they're not supposed to be taking those unlawful orders. They're not supposed to be doing that. Because they're required by law, like they have the right to decline unlawful orders. But yeah, I caught these individuals with trying to get multiple other departments throughout different city limits jurisdiction to do that shit to me. And that's not right. Just like the other night, whenever I went sightseeing to go check out the parades, I noticed a few troopers on the interstate. Didn't bother me one bit. One of them pulled up to the light, didn't do nothing. Didn't sit there and tailgate you, follow you, or try to harass you. Ain't none of that shit being done. It's just on a local level that has been being done. That's the way it should be, to where they don't bother you. The locals should do the same thing. To not try to impede on your right to travel freely with any type of intimidation or oppressive tactic, because that's not enforcing state law. That was funny how that man laughed when I called that out. I said, yeah, man, it be violating federal titles and second. I got to get all over on my YouTube channel because of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, bro, you got rights in this damn country. You got federal titles and sections. They just can't sit there and revenue a dollar or a revenue currency off of extortion. Because once again, we're going to go back to the simple information. Even though it's considered the U.S., United States, what I just identified a few minutes ago, which therefore this is federal jurisdiction. Because it's the United States. The state that I'm in is not just a state, it's the United States. With an S on the end. Why you think they call it United States? Exactly. I consider this to be federal jurisdictional land. Because once again, it's what they call that, the land of the free and the home of the brave. That means this is the land. What you think the U.S. Supreme rulings mean? Why is the U.S. Supreme rulings used in a local court to start with? Local and state court to start with, if it wasn't federal jurisdiction? Why can you legally use U.S. Supreme rulings in local court? Exactly. Why? Why does it bind practices on a local level? Why? I'm gonna have to do my research on that. My personal perception on why it binds corrupt practices on a local level is because it's not identified as a crime to start with when it comes to, once again, they try to accuse you of disturbing the peace and you're exercising the U.S. Constitution of the First Amendment. Free speech protected under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. How is that a crime? Disturbing the peace cannot be used as a state law violation with no vague laws, because they have no such thing as no vague laws. It's VAGUE. I want to say that's how you say that. But you can also use that under U.S. Supreme rulings as long as you're not provoking a fight. You can use profane language as long as you're not provoking a fight. So you can say fuck, shit, damn, pussy, all that. You can protest with saying profane language without any ounce of threat to your freedom, without any ounce of threat of your freedom, like under the threat of an arrest. Because the minute they go to put restraints on you for obstructing the U.S. Constitution, also obstructing your 14th Amendment of your federal constitutional protected rights, they could be charged with kidnapping and assault and battery on your person. But like I said before, it's not even in their jurisdiction to even prosecute you under the U.S. Constitution. That's what I'm trying to let people know. They don't have the jurisdiction to prosecute or proceed any further with even a charge because it's not in their jurisdiction. U.S. Constitution automatically defends you along with your federal constitutional protected rights of the 14th Amendment. You deserve to be treated equally and fairly on a federal, once again, federal protected level. These individuals, I'm telling you. To these ones that has been, they call themselves targeted. I had to correct somebody earlier on that statement that they made. Don't ever identify yourself as a target individual. You identify yourself as a corruption destroyer. You uproot these satanic cults out of their institutions, because that's what they are. They ain't nothing but a trafficking, fraudulent cult that are sitting there abusing your rights and violating the U.S. Constitution and your federal protected rights. That's what they're doing. Anytime they get the notion to try to oppress you or to commit an unlawful practice upon you, they are violating the Title 18 USC Section 241 and 242. They're engaging in a color law violation. They're failing to keep you from harm. Anytime an official does that, they're failing to keep you from harm, because the opposite of harm is protection, right? And the opposite of protection is harm. They're proving exactly what they're not, how can I say this? They're proving, hold on, y'all. This is kind of a challenging situation with this information. They're proving right there in plain sight that they're not protecting you by committing a color law violation to oppress you. They have no right. Your federal protected rights under Title 18 USC Section 241 gives these individuals absolutely no authority, no jurisdiction to oppress or to try to intimidate you in any kind of way. Once again, that's your federal protected rights. They cannot illegally deprive you of those rights under 242. That's the Title 18 USC Section 242. Both of those can sometimes be used together depending on the situation. But that's how I'm able to connect it and identify it to be rooted in together. So, therefore, that's your federal protected rights. But then you have the U.S. Supreme rulings, which doubles your protection. A local court cannot overturn a U.S. Supreme ruling, sustained ruling. Can't. Sustained means final. It's sustained. That's why I carry those papers around with me when it comes to my federal protected rights to the U.S. Supreme rulings, just in case. I have the right to not help aid an investigation. I have the right to remain silent. I have the right to not produce identification or even a driver license if I haven't committed any crime. They have to be able to articulate that a crime was committed in order for me to produce identification or driver license. If I'm driving, and there you go. That would be driver license. I have the right to not produce that if I have not committed a crime. And I command and demand proof to show me proof of probable cause where the crime was committed before they proceed any further. Because it's my job to interrogate what the majority of people may not be paying attention to, because some of these individuals sit there and they're known to lie. But you can challenge that by demanding proof. You could demand proof. Because I'm going to tell you right now where this is going to challenge this at. Let's say if they try to accuse you of speeding, or you didn't put your turning signal on, or you was going, well, yeah, they try to accuse you of speeding, but you got a dash cam that has radar in it. Well, not radar, but it has the speed detection in it. So they're automatically just going to sit there and give you, issue a citation when you got the evidence, or you may have a camera pointed at your speedometer that they may be unaware of. But some of you may have a dash cam that tracks your speed, and you could go back and replay that. So therefore, once again, that's going to better to challenge them that they should show probable cause. Anybody can say anything. Where's the probable cause at? Where's the proof, the burden of proof to prove probable cause? And how can a prosecution do anything when the prosecutor's not there? How are they able to file charges that fast when they're not even present? The cops are not the prosecutor. How does that make any sense? How are they able to put a charge on you even because they're not the prosecutor? But the thing of it is, you can challenge an invalid charge by demanding them show you proof of probable cause. They could sit there and lie to you and to try to get you to admit to something that you didn't even do. That's called phishing tactics. They could use a bit of phishing. Some of you out there may not be experienced in law enforcement, but unfortunately, some of us out there had no choice but to learn our rights and to execute our spiritual detective abilities and interrogator abilities. We know exactly how this shit works with these individuals. And we know things that should be used on a legal level that don't violate and infringe upon people's rights. Bro, this corruption being cleared up, I'm going to tell you where it's originally coming from, the spiritual community. Because we serve divine law, bro. We work for God. You think God's gonna put up with somebody trying to traffic one of his traffic his son or daughter, which are representing you? You think he's gonna put up with that? You think God's gonna sit there and hurt you? No, he's not. God's not gonna sit there and hurt you. He's gonna protect you from harm. And he put us earth angels here, spiritual healers here, to make sure that this is brought to the light to federal authorities for them to see what's going on inside these institutions. That we know way more than what these individuals can even dream of, that they're not there to uphold the U.S. Constitution, to protect our civil rights, or to make sure our amendments are protected. They're there to strip that from us. It's being proven legitimately with my situation at how much corruption has been done to me in order to try to violate my federal protected rights. Because that's all that's been violated throughout this whole situation. Once again, that's above the state level. But at the same time, getting back to what I was saying earlier about the probable cause, I personally believe that you have the right to demand them show you proof. Because anybody could say anything. That would be an assumption, an allegation. But therefore, you could discredit the false allegation right there on the spot by proving your proof of evidence of dash cam footage of, hey, you wasn't going over the limit. So therefore, they have no legitimate probable cause to conduct a stop. Therefore, it's going to be better to prove that they failed to keep you from harm, which is once again a color law violation. You could cite them for that. It's all about holding these individuals accountable. You have way more power than you think you do. You can have them testify at court. Yes, you can. You can have them cited for that, for committing color law violation right there at plain sight by lying under oath. Because you was in fact not speeding. And you have cameras to prove it. People say keep witnesses around, but a camera is way more better than a witness. It's way much more powerful than a witness because you could go back and watch the footage. See, that right there could be used as hearsay when it comes to witnesses. They could be tampered with. Even though people can indeed tamper with evidence too when it comes to that, digital evidence. But still though, you sit there, you show them, like whenever you extracting the footage from the dash cam, as I say, look, this is the speed you was going. It's advisable that you demand probable cause. They could say anything. You demand them to show you probable cause. Yep. Just like I said before, if they so much go to make an unlawful arrest upon you, it's not considered an arrest. It's considered illegal kidnapping and assault and battery on your person, due to, once again, a color law violation under Title 18 USC Section 242. Illegally deprivating you of your federal protected rights. And they could get their ass charged for kidnapping. Kidnapping, assault, and battery on your person by placing weaponization or restraints on you while vehicular trafficking you when no crime was committed. It's time people wake up, bro. It's time people wake up. Stand up for what you know is right and defend yourself. I don't know about anywhere else, but this state over here, under state law, you have the right, this is stand your ground over here. You have the right to defend yourself. Once again, it's good to have camera evidence. These individuals that be worshiping the Baphomet, bro, and being connected to all that, that's Satanism, that's satanic. And no, that's not fucking protected under the First Amendment, because the activities that are being done is violating people's federal protected rights, bro. You think it's actually legal to hurt an innocent youngin? That's not legal. And people like me as a spiritual healer, we have a problem with that. And that's another thing, neighborhood watch. Wouldn't that be a representation of hooded figures, demons, monitoring you? Now, I know that's going to sound like a, what they call that, conspiracy theorist. It's the wording, bro. It's the watching and neighborhood. That means hooded figures. And hooded figures are known to be demons. And what do demons do? They monitor. What you think neighborhood watch means? Monitoring spirits. It's all biblical too. I'm not saying that saying right there, neighborhood, is in the Bible when it comes to that. But when it comes to neighborhood watch, that means demonic hooded figures are monitoring you. And you know what that's connected to? That fraudulent, corrupt, trafficking institution on a local level that's supposed to be in disguise as officials, right? No, they're not. That's a cult organization that has zero jurisdiction over you under your federal protected rights, and the U.S. Supreme rulings that bind the majority of their practices. How they like that? And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe that God's presence has to intervene through federal law officials, because when it comes to binding, don't they have under the spiritual law of the Bible, biblical information? You bind and render evil spirits powerless. Why do you think the U.S. Supreme rulings are used to bind the locals? Wake up. You know what binding means? It means you render them powerless. They have no power. They have no power to proceed with any further prosecution or to harm you in any kind of way that violates, once again, your federal protected rights. The U.S. Supreme rulings and federal law titles, sections, and codes, that's basically your legal Bible for your defense. That's your legality Bible. And they must obey, bro. They must obey, and they must flee and leave you alone. They may not understand God's Bible, the Holy Bible, but the U.S. Supreme Rulers, that's the legality law. That's the legality Bible. That's biblical legalities. Biblical legality information that binds them. Why do you think some of these officials talk like they're robotic? Because they're under a command of a so-called person that thinks that they're God, but it's actually satanic oppression. They don't act like themselves, bro. They're not themselves in the uniform. They're not. That's always been catchy versus a federal law enforcement agent, an FBI agent. Pay attention to the way that they communicate. Now, me personally, I have experience with that because I talked to several of them. FBI agents versus the cops. Cops don't have the same language at all. They sound extremely robotic, and that right there is a sign in itself that they're clearly being controlled by a demonic, oppressive force of a captain that once again worships the Baphomet and commits Baphomet ritualistic practices and orders while on duty, while trying to have me sacrifice to a certain god and a deity. From what this individual has been ordering his officers and all to do this to me. You fail to realize, buddy, I'm protected under the Lord Jesus Christ's authority. I'm also protected under what he wrote, what he created throughout the U.S. Supreme rulings. There's laws in this country under the U.S. Supreme rulings of federal law that binds and stops you at trying to cause me harm. That's the physical way God's intervention could come through and have you stopped. It's known that these secret societies are targeting spiritual people. It's well known about, bro. Some of these FBI agents could have been kind of skeptical at first when they received phone calls from several spiritual people that told them that they're being followed around, like people don't want to leave them alone. It's because this is these satanic cults, secret societies that are committing ritualistic practices in order to torment and to psychologically abuse and to break their spirits down the FBI. That's what it is. It's a ritualistic practice in order to isolate the individual because of what they're doing for certain deities and gods, or what they be doing behind closed doors, but yet they bring those practices inside these institutions that are highly unethical and illegal. It's not a lawful practice. It's not a lawful practice, FBI. It's not. And I will speak up and let it be known that the agent that didn't turn his back on me, even when the times I got agitated, he could have witnessed me get mad on my channel and still agreed to answer the phone to talk to me. I appreciate that guy. Because that's rare to come by. That's extremely rare to come by. Some of these individuals know how tough this situation has been upon me, and they've sat back and watched me fight this situation for a long time. I'm not playing around, bro. Like, this shit really is being done to people out there. Maybe this could be a wake-up call to some of these individuals if they were skeptical on other situations. We are tired of our rights being violated, FBI. We're tired of it. Y'all have the jurisdiction and also the spiritual meaning to defeat the wickedness snares of the Baphomet. That means the devil. Y'all badge is an indication of Archangel Michael, which gives you the authority to stop these corrupt secret societies and law enforcement from sitting there engaging in ritualistic sacrificial practices and all to harm us, FBI. Y'all have that duty, and by federal law jurisdiction under U.S. Supreme rulings, you can bind and completely disrupt these organizations and their practices and to shut them down. That's why a lot of people are fed up. Oh, don't rely on the FBI for their protection because they're not doing nothing about it. You never know. I'm pretty sure they could be busy with a lot of things that are on the table that they may be investigating, but this is not going overlooked. Trust me, it's not. There's plenty of people complaining nationwide about this activity being done to them. They're not ignoring it. I can feel that intuitively. They're not ignoring it or overlooking it because way too many people are speaking out about it. They are. They're not just speaking out about it. They got evidence and producing evidence to them as I say, look. I'm going to tell you right now. Some of these agents regret even collaborating with some of these individuals that has been involved in doing that to you. Because they finally see what the fuck they're about. I'm telling you. Yeah, they may collaborate and have joint investigations, but they're not federal law. Locals are not federal law. They think that they big shit because they can have a joint investigation. Watch when the truth comes out about what they have been engaging in. When it comes to hurting them innocent youngins, trafficking people, exploiting people. You think the House want to be seen around a piece of shit like that? No, they don't. I don't consider that to be brotherhood in any kind of way. Because once again, you have hood there. Why be friends with demons, FBI, whenever you're the complete exact opposite? And your titles and sections make much more sense that actually provide the accurate, legitimate protection around this whole nation, around this whole country. Rather than some bullshit ass local. That's the way I look at it. Because just by me being on the phone and talking to a higher up, it's a complete different frequency and energy. I feel protected even just by being on the phone with them. I may be aggravated and annoyed that I'm not protected physically because of what's being done. But when I'm on the phone talking to one of them, I feel safe. That's the way you're supposed to feel, bro. You ain't supposed to feel all isolated and like nobody wants anything to do with you. And to sit there and be attacked all day, every day. To have your character, your reputation trashed all day, every day. See me, I don't have an old lady. Even though y'all may have seen that picture, I'm going to kind of keep it up in the air like I may have one, I may not. A man being done this way. But I do appreciate that one agent not giving up on me and turning his back on me. maybe God could be doing something as I say, hey, don't leave James like that. The rest of these individuals may not be listening to him, but maybe he could have been guided by God or something. Or maybe the man has compassion about the situation, how much pressure I'm under having to fight this shit by myself. So he could kind of understand that it's frustrating upon me. This is irritating, bro. I don't deserve to be done that way. Yeah, I may have read tarot cards, but at the same time, I'm not committing any crime. He even told me that back in the 3-bedroom house. Like, yeah, what you're doing is protected under the First Amendment, because I asked him a question. I said, hey, is this legal for me to read my cards? He said, absolutely. It was like a straightforward answer right then and there. Absolutely. I almost want to laugh because it was like right there, lightning fast response. Absolutely. That means you have the right to exercise your freedom of religion and belief. And back then, I didn't really know anything about the First Amendment until I had to learn a little bit of it. And he told me, it's like, what I do with my tarot cards, they shouldn't be bothering me. But they continue. It's a satanic bafflement sacrifice, bro. That's what it is. It's a secret society belief that they have to sit there and harm spiritual people with ritualistic practices and all to bring great fortune to them. No, that's bullshit. Because I'm not going to be targeted that way by this corrupt, fraudulent institution that has been engaging in these unlawful practices that violates federal titles, sections, and U.S. Supreme rulings. They have no jurisdiction over me, and they're not a legitimate law enforcement agency to start with. They're not. Secret societies are not the law, bro. They're not. They go by bafflement laws, underworld laws, which is cruelty, aggression, bondage. You think I'm going to sit there and respect that? You think I'm going to sit there and obey and respect that? Fuck that. How come when you see an FBI agent, they don't have all this gear on them, even though their cuffs may be kind of concealed? Their badge even is concealed, even though it's on their waistband right there. They're not all intimidating looking. Even the jackets with the yellow letters on them, the raid jackets. That right there is a sign in itself again. Even when somebody committed crimes out there that they're raiding, they're still not there to cause any harm. Of course, it may be there to remove a problem and to get someone out their residence because it's court ordered and they're there for a raid, but they're not there to intimidate or to cause any harm. That's another thing I paid attention to. They don't have all that gear on them. Of course, they may have their firearm, they may have their badge on them, but that's usually concealed. Especially the handcuffs, like in their back part, their back area. It's under their shirt part. And usually when they present themselves to you, it's not in a hostile manner. And they don't have this scary ass looking fucking police cruiser, brother. They cruise around with the push bumper in front. They got the lights. I mean, they may have the visor lights, but that's hidden, bro. That's concealed. Even though they may have a dark colored Yukon, but still though. This shit ain't meant to be intimidating or to oppress you in any kind of way. And the Epstein files, that right there is all coming out about what these individuals have been doing involving satanic ritual abuse. So yeah. Maybe that's another reason why the FBI is not disregarding for us spiritual people speaking up about what some of these individuals be engaging in and trying to do to us to harm us spiritually. These individuals where I'm at locally, bro, are demonically possessed. They're witches and warlocks. I know this for a fact. Because what they keep on doing every day and engaging in on these practices every day, it's witchcraft. And I'm going to tell them one last time, you ain't getting a sacrifice upon me. You ain't doing it to me. You ain't doing that. You know what else I'm getting as an energetic download right now, a spiritual download? The higher ups are no longer focused on trying to, I'm not really going to say that they try to oppress people, but they're more open to hearing what people got to say. I'm getting that intuitively. They're more open to what people have to say. They're not going to sit there and group up to try to intimidate you. Oh, you can't be talking about spirituality or talking about certain things that has to do with conspiracy theories. No, they want to hear about that, what I'm getting. They want to hear more people come forward and give their testimony on social media. They're interested in hearing about it, what I'm getting. Rather than sit there and and try to retaliate. Me personally, I don't see the higher ups hurting somebody, grouping up all together and hurt somebody. I don't see that, bro. I don't get that energy from them. Even during their raids, I don't get that hostile energy, even though they have to go in there and use they have to kind of be like using force to open to create an entry if they don't comply with the orders. But other than that, bro, I don't see the higher ups hurting anybody like that. But their presence can hardly be intimidating though when they show up. But still though, I don't get any hostile type of energy from them like you do the locals. The only ones that can save us in the 3D dimensional reality in this lifetime, God's not going to bet us to do it, bro. He's not. I'm not dissing God or downing God that way. He can only do so much spiritually. When it comes to us having our rights violated by these individuals in these institutions, the FBI is going to have to protect us, bro, and intervene. Even if it's just a few individuals, they have to throw out these institutions to get them out of there. They're going to have to intervene. But like I said before, if they got people out there that you feel, some people don't even get an answer by the FBI. That's the thing. Some people don't even get answered by them. You have to know how to explain your information. They pay attention to detail. Like if you know what you're talking about, not saying that you don't. If you know what you're talking about, you come to them with information in regards into the activity, about the titles and sections, then they're going to sit there and look up on you as a credible source of information. More than likely. Because you're going to sound intelligent. You're going to have that intelligent vibe about you. Now, I don't know where some of these people get their information twisted when it comes to, oh, they hate intelligent people. No, they don't. That's just something that the media wants to try to push it all to try to keep you silent. When it comes to a public corruption matter, bro, like they need information. Like they want people to come forward. They don't want to sit there and fucking have you oppressed. That's bullshit. That's just something that the media wants to do to try to put everybody in fear, to try to pull them away from the FBI. Because they know once they get involved, the shit's going to get shut down. Especially if it's a public corruption matter. They don't take that too lightly. Hold on, y'all. There we go. If some of you out there have any type of spiritual downloads, the higher ups may be interested in hearing your testimony, bro. And that's what I'm getting intuitively. Like they're not going to sit there and look upon you as and to be skeptical or try to retaliate in any kind of way. Like they may be interested to hear people, even if it's just a certain thing that you got a hunch about. Like announce that, bro. Even if it's just a hunch, you got a gut inkling feeling about something, announce it. Remember how I said about the badge? The circle with the star in the middle? Stuff like that. That may can help them put the piece of the puzzle together as I say, you know what? Then you got all this brutality going on. You think that's of the Lord? You think that's of really serving and protecting people? Look at what the pentagram represents. That represents the devil, bro. Lucifer, Satan. You know what Satan's about? Abuse, exploitation, bondage, abusing people, hurting people. And I'm going to tell you why that is, because the Baphomet is involved with these institutions and they have a poor spiritual wannabe leader in there. That's not a spiritual leader. This is someone that worships Satanism. That believes in sacrifices. That believes in hurting people. And the rest of these individuals are going to follow right behind that. That's where the problem is. But yeah, just what I said before. These individuals over here where I'm at locally like to sit there, and they got two of them right now, two officials right now, trying to sit there and swap some type of energy and destiny when it comes to some type of their belief, something to do with a twin flame, when they're not even a match for each other to start with. I don't know what part these individuals don't understand, but they're them. They won't ever be me. There's only one me around this motherfucker. You understand me? Around this whole United States of America. There's only one me out there. I'm not identified by the name either. I have a unique, sacred energy about me that ain't none of these fucking clowns can ever get out of me or steal from me in any kind of ritualistic practice or whatever they may believe in. Devil lying to you, bro. You look like a straight up clown. Both of these goofy ass motherfuckers are sitting there doing that. You won't ever be me or siphon something that's meant to be for me through somebody else. You don't have my energy. You don't have my looks. You don't have nothing of me. And the more that you try to intrude with my energy, the more that you try to intrude with doing these rituals, the more that you're exposed to the Most High. You are blocked on the spiritual level. You have no access to me. You will never in your life look like me. You will never in your life have my energy. You're too much of a bitch on a soul level to have my fucking energy. These individuals that keep on doing that, you a prick, bro. You a prick. Spiritually scared of every damn thing. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You don't even know what rituals you're engaging in. You don't even know how to do them punk rituals right to start with. Devil sitting there lying to you. Got both of these, whatever you call them, looking like fools. Do I look like one of these individuals? No, I don't. I don't care what kind of hair they think they have, saliva from Coke cans that I drunk out of. You won't ever be this guy right here. Ever. There's only one me out there. You don't hold my light, bro. You don't hold the torch that I hold in the spirit realm. You are a follower of Satan. You lost. You lost. Lost in the underworld. This female sit there and claim to talk all this shit about me, this female official, but yet gotta get with a man to use another man and do energy harvesting rituals and all to try to get my energy to go to this dude. You're fucking weird, bro. You're weird. You obviously don't hate me that fucking much. When you spend too much time on the majority of your time doing energy harvesting ritualistic practices and all to try to swap energies. You think I don't know about that? I'm embarrassed the fuck out of this female. She tried to do this with several local officials, bro. Several of them. Several of them. She's intimidated at the fact that I know she's a witch. That's why. That's something you're supposed to be proud of. Well, announce it to the world. Oh, too bad you can't do that, huh? You want to hide like the scared person you really are. You can't walk down the road like I can and go places by yourself, huh? You can't do that, huh? You can't travel alone, can you? I don't know what people see inside this female. She's supposed to be big and bad. Who the fuck is she? I came face to face with her not too long ago at the office. I confronted her about what was being done to me. She ain't bad at all. She just thinks she is, but she ain't. I see straight to this female spirit. She's a broken down female with a lot of wounds and trauma. Ain't shit about this woman scares me. Too afraid to talk to a spiritual healer. But yet much rather sit there and do weird energy harvesting rituals and energy swapping rituals in order to try to get some type of healing that way or some type of spiritual comfort. You ain't gonna get that from me. You're not. I'm unavailable in that department all the way. You will not do any necromancy ritualistic practices either in order to conjure up spirits, to send spirits my way to try to get some form of telepathic connection with you. It ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you why I know about that, because the spirits that you be trying to conjure up to come my way, my ear gets hot. My ear gets hot. And they tell me exactly who is sending them. This is coming from her. They tell me your name. And you know what they do? They go back to where they came from. Those spirits go right back to you, bro, and monitor you. I'm going to tell you why they do that, because I'm protected by the Most High. They're watching you and that dude that you shacked up with, bro. You ain't getting a fucking thing from my energy. You ain't getting a damn thing from my telepathy or any bit of my spiritual gifts. You sit there and talk all this shit about me, but yet you too busy spending all your quality time, all the time in the world, to sit there to try to defamate my character, but yet got the nerve to sit there and try to get energy off of me through sex rituals that was being done. You think I don't know about that either, huh? I know about that too. You start feeling this arousal energy on a spiritual level. It's like there's just this arousal type of energy that you feel out of nowhere. When there's no logical reasoning, it's because that's what's being done, bro. No, it's not because your significant other, it could be like a soulmate. I don't have any of that. For that to be being done, it's because of what is being done when it comes to a ritualistic practice. That once again is trying to manipulate your energy on that level, to manipulate your sacral chakra, which is known as the genitalia. I know all about that, bro. I get visions and I receive confirmations. I don't need my cards for that. This female ought to be embarrassed, bro, and feel hella shitty about what she has been doing. Anybody that comes into contact with this individual, she puts them under mind control. Has them under some type of hypnotic type of whatever you call it. And gets in their head and manipulates them. But yet sees me as a threat because it can't happen with me. It's impossible. And I'm going to stay being that person too. I'm going to stay being that person. This individual will never be able to get inside my head, ever. To try to manipulate me in any kind of fucking way. Ain't going to happen. Then she's big and bad with that badge on. Take that badge off and try one of these rituals then. Try them then. Ready to go control the fucking thing with me. Federal law gonna have to remove this fucking corrupt ass female out the energy, bro. They're gonna have to physically restrain this individual and remove her the fuck out the energy. I'm about sick and tired of feeling this woman's energy, bro. This bitch pisses me off. I can't stand this fucking female. I don't see how other people are attracted to this type of energy. Because this shit is highly repelling. Repelling. This is the dirtiest, repelling, annoying, irritated energy I've ever felt a day in my life. I don't know what the fuck these individuals see in this individual because you obviously ain't woke, bro. You ain't got no clean spirit, that's for damn sure. You ain't got the Holy Spirit inside of you in order for you to have the veil lifted. Because if you could only see what I see, bro, you wouldn't even be involved with this individual. The individual just keeps on trying to get the energy over and over and over and over and over. It's annoying. It's like an on and off energy with this individual. She'll be engaging in conducting fraudulent investigations or doing some weird type of tactics. And yet whenever she don't get her way with by one of these individuals, she goes back, as I say, that she wants to try to cry to me energetically. To get me to somewhat show some type of energetic compassion towards them. I ain't showing that shit towards them. This is something they won't ever admit in the physical 3D reality. Maybe they will one day, but not now. And it scares the hell out of this individual how I know that. I meant to know that. This is my body, bro, that you're trying to harvest off of. This is my energy that you relentlessly trying to screw around, bro. I have the right to fucking know about that. And yes, I have the legal right, legal ground in the spirit world to receive visions on what you're trying to do to harm me spiritually. It's just gotten to the point, brother, where like the energy being like it is where I'm at, there's nothing changing with that. The only way to escape this fucking situation, bro, is to the S word. These individuals will not fucking leave me alone, bro. And I'm trying to tell the FBI to stop them, bro. Stop them! Get this fucking bitch out of my energy, bro! I'm gonna have my physician write off PTSD slip for me, confirm PTSD or what these individuals have been doing to me due to the camera evidence I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna bring that to the FBI, let them analyze that, so I could get a paper from them to hand to this fucking courthouse over here. I will not be present when it comes to this March court date. I'm not gonna be present there, bro. I'm gonna flash out on these individuals. I'm telling you right now, bro. This is gonna trigger me in a certain kind of way, and I'm gonna go off. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if there's any way to where these proceedings could be seen to where I could be at the FBI field office over there, and they could sit there and proceed with their proceedings while I'll be present in front of a federal agent while they have this over VIA video chat session. I will only be in the presence of a federal agent for this court proceedings to proceed. I will not be by myself in that courtroom, bro. I will not be without federal authority figures around me. No, I'm not. I want an FBI agent to be present there with me. I'll go up to the field office and sit there and have a VIA chat video session and to show them the U.S. Supreme rulings as I say, look, that's the only way I'll feel safe. I am not safe there by myself, bro. This is going to keep on aggravating me and keep on aggravating me and keep on aggravating me until I take myself out of here, bro. Y'all need to stop these individuals, bro. I don't really want to bring Tyra up, but it come out in my cards that this Leo female was going to get her ass arrested. Justice in the Ace of Swords with a King of Pentacles reverse and a Three of Cups reverse. That's what come up in one of my readings. And that was unexpected for that to show itself. It was a Queen of Swords that was going to arrest her. It's either a Secret Service agent or an FBI agent that was going to arrest her ass. It's going to happen. I don't know when though, but it come through my cards, bro. That's the first time I ever seen that come up in my reading. A Sagittarius was going to prison, a Capricorn's going to prison, a Leo female, Taurus female. That all come up in the cards. Taurus female was going to a psychiatric institution rather than jail. But the rest of them, oh, they's going to prison, bro. That's one of my recent readings that I've done a personal reading for myself. I don't want to bring those tarot cards up, though. Queen of Wands reverse came out with a King of Pentacles reverse and a Three of Pentacles reverse. Queen of Swords was the one that was putting them in there. She ain't playing with this fucking female. This Queen of Swords, she ain't playing with her. She could be a Libra woman that works for the Secret Service or FBI. She ain't playing. It showed that the Justice and the Eight of Swords at the same time in the same reading. That's a strong indication of prison time. And those are the individuals that was going there. But the Taurus female, the Four of Swords showed itself for her. That would be a psychiatric unit. Some type of rehab or something. But the other ones, they was going their ass to fucking prison, boy. I'm telling you. I'm not going to sit there and dwell on that, but that did come through my cards not too long ago. A Queen of Swords was going to be confronting her. that knows about my situation, that knows about some internet-related fraud too, stealing my fucking currency, sitting there making fake comments on my YouTube channel. Quinta Sword's been observing her doing that, bro. She got something for her little arrogant prick ass. She got something for that. This Queen of Swords is also in the energy, as I say, your boyfriend you laying beside ain't gonna be able to save you from that one. He's going too. He's going too. Y'all both get your ass arrested. You're in connection with fraud. That man you got shocked up in your residence, he's going too. Nah. I almost forgot about that reading, which I don't forget anything, but I pulled that the other day unexpectedly. Queen of Swords came out, Justice, Queen of Swords, and the rest of the cards follow behind that. King of Pentacles reverse. He's definitely going his ass there. It's a kingpin. And there's other departments that are getting put there too. What it looked like two of the three of Pentacles reverse. Anybody that has ever collaborated with these assholes to come up against me will be put behind federal penitentiary bars or a dorm. Like I say, y'all, I'm not making this up when it comes to multiple departments that has been involved with doing that to me throughout a different city limit jurisdiction. The only ones that I didn't have a problem with when it comes to me traveling was the state troopers. But they're not the locals, so that's the thing. I only had a problem with several of the locals' jurisdiction doing that shady shit to me. Yes, I did contact the troopers about it too. I told them a while back, whenever I was staying in a 3-bedroom house, I let them know what was being done to me. This Queen of Swords been monitoring this fucking female official over here. Seeing her do some shady shit with my live streams. It's another reason why I ass is going there. That little dude that you shacked up with at your house, man, ain't gonna be enough to save your backside, because you going. You going. There's a male right beside this Queen of Swords arresting his ass too. Good. It has a lot to do with stealing some type of wire fraud. These individuals have been in connection with wire fraud off my YouTube channel fucking with my channel like that. That's why. And being found guilty involving identity theft with an earth sign. Female. These individuals could have been around and seen me get upset on my channel multiple amount of times. They know I can feel whenever these individuals are fucking with me. I'm also getting a download that they got a bit of evidence on these fucking sex rituals being done too. I don't know how. I'm not going to say how. They got a bit of evidence on that being done up on me too. Nasty ass motherfuckers. Trying to sit there obstruct my love life. Sitting there creating fake accounts to cause all kind of trouble. Got evidence on that too. I don't even feel like I'm going home anymore, bro. I feel like I'm going to a kidnapping, oppressive fucking city that ain't right. I'm about to hell with this fucking bullshit, bro. I'm gonna go to the field office and I'm gonna see if they can get me a place somewhere out there where I can fucking stay and live in peace, bro. I'm going to the fucking, hold on, today's Ash Wednesday. I don't know if they open today. Nah, I don't think they're going to be open today. This Leo's about to go her fucking ass to prison. I can feel it coming, bro. Her ass is about to go to fucking prison. That same Queen of Swords is possibly on this live stream observing me upset once again. They're collecting documentation. Just how many times these bitches keep upsetting me, that they're gonna come in, bro, with a warrant watch. I'm telling you. They know what these individuals are fucking doing. They about to conduct a raid. I speak it into existence, Lord. Have your federal agents, Lord Jesus, come through and remove this goddamn female official out my energy. Get this bitch away from me. Get our crooked ass officials away from me. Remove this problem from my life, Lord. I want the FBI to grab this bitch up out of fucking bed and jerk her ass on the fucking floor and place her ass in restraints. Get her the fuck out of my energy, bro. And grab her fucking boyfriend up, both of them, and get them the fuck out of my goddamn energy. Both of them. These individuals lucky I don't have authority, bro, because I would get a warrant for that residence right the fuck now. I would get in a search warrant. I'll go straight to that house right now and kick that fucking door in if they don't open. And I'll go in there and be making some arrests right now, bro. If I was an official, I'd be at that fucking residence right now, jerking both their ass out that house. You think I'm somebody to play with, bro? I know what the fuck you're doing. Feds probably got that shit tapped right now. They probably got it tapped right now to see what the fuck they doing. They're too fucking ignorant and stupid to realize that. I'm seeing a female with blonde hair with a raid jacket on at a monitor right now. She got her raid jacket on. She's got like straight, long, blonde hair. Some keeps on telling me to hang on. The FBI is going to be there. Eventually, they're going to show up. Just hang in there. But I'm also on the verge of snapping and taking myself out this room, bro. I can feel it. I feel it in my stomach. There's got to be a way the FBI can help me get some place over there, out of over here to where I could be okay. I don't want to be at this fucking place no more, bro. I need to get away from here. I need to be away from here. This ain't healthy for me. I'm seeing a male agent and a female agent get out and arrest both of these individuals, bro. Or unless they're trying to send me that through telepathy as a say, hey, that's eventually going to happen. Just be patient, son. They know now what this bitch is about. They know what she's doing. They know exactly what she's doing. I pretty much made up my mind, bro, to go to the other side. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of fucking being here. This ain't got nothing to do with anxiety, depression, none of that. This ain't the place for me, bro. I don't belong here. My soul is ready to fucking go home. Do y'all not understand that? It's ready to go home. I don't belong here, bro.